Good morning. How's it going? I've been reading a lot of stuff in the news. I've been seeing what's been going on. I've been following economics. I've been following policy. I've been following the way policies are being put out. I've been following technology and where that's heading, pop culture, and for anyone who really pays attention and who's truthful with themselves, I think we can really see where things are heading. It's not good, and most, if not all, is by design. Right now, what's going on is think about, like, I don't even know where to begin right now. I just need to talk, and I just need to speak, because there's a lot of people who are just denying a lot of things. Maybe I'll post or say on social media, people don't want to hear, but it's just observations. A lot of it isn't even my opinion. It's just of things that are going on. You could turn on, I was going to say the news, but even that's breaking down. It's like everything is breaking down in society. People's morals, people's ideas, people's beliefs, honesty, anything you can think of. The economy is falling apart, and I really believe much of it is by design. Think about everything that's happening right now and everything going on. It's like I could go into so many things. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but it's important to remember that there's not a single thing you can do or anybody can do that will not and won't affect somebody else. Every single decision you make in one way or another will inevitably affect someone else and everyone else. That's how society works, that's how reality works, and you can even go as far as to say that's how physics work. Everything is done in one after the next. You could say it's like dominoes, you could say it's like, billiard balls. It's important to really take everything into consideration and every action you do, and it's important to be extremely truthful and to be honest with yourself. It's becoming more and more obvious every day about who's lying and what's going on in society. Everyone has problems. Everyone can overcome their problems. Everyone has situations to deal with, and people want to ignore situations. Sometimes things are too scary. We can all admit that nobody ever wanted to be a part of this world, and we're all thrown into it, and how incredibly harsh and beautiful nature is. Think about how absolutely chaotic yet serene it can also be. There is no mercy in nature. Who's to say that the life of one bug should be taken by another bug? But that's how things are. You need to eat living things in order to perpetuate as a living thing. There is no mercy in nature. This is reality. This is the way of the universe, and this is the way things are made, and this is the natural realm that we're in. We all have genetic material that has lasted for a few billion years. Each one of us is a few billion years old. We're not as old as our birthday says. Our DNA and our genetics has been passed on and on and on, and become who we are. And we're at a point right now in humanity where we have the absolute decision and power to make the decisions of how this world works, how things are affected, and how we can change things. Like I said, every decision we make affects the world. It affects everything else. Even in physics, you can't eliminate or create energy. It has to be transferred from one form to another. It's important to take into consideration everything around us, what people are doing, what people are saying, and to remember that there's people who just want control. There's people who want to help. There's people who want to destroy. We see the way the world is happening right now, and this is reality. It seems everything is breaking down, and it's all due to humanity. It's all due to the people at large and the people who are small. And every single decision we make impacts something else. We have to start being honest. We have to start shedding any bad habits we have and help each other, because things are in a downward spiral. The economy is broken, people's minds are broken, people's spirits are broken. And one of the main factors, I think, is because our spirits are broken. People are told to do what thou wilt, when no matter what you do affects somebody else. We're seeing lies perpetuated by all sorts of people. We're seeing, people taking such drastic sides politically, emotionally, spiritually, and in every other facet imaginable. It's not hard to see where things are heading. We have inflation, we have food shortages coming, we have war ramping up. We have to be honest, and we have to be truthful. We have to stop being emotional and start being logical. We need to balance the two. You can't have one without the other, or just chaos ensues. You need chaos and order in order to have a balance. Too much order is bad. Too much chaos is bad. Too much order leads to chaos. What's happening right now is global. This world has never been connected before like it is now. There's many young generations who have no idea what life was like before the technology we have. We have kids walking around with cell phones that don't know how to perceive this world without one. We have people that are trying to take advantage of other people constantly. We have technocrats trying to create a whole world where they can control, so they can be the new leaders in this new epoch that's coming. We need to start being responsible and start shedding everything that has brought evil upon this world. And evil can be thought of as in many factors, no matter what you believe. It can be Satan, it can be just things that are bad, it can be the darkness. Think about humanity. Think about how far we've come and how far we've traveled in order to get where we are, to the point where we forget where we came from. We forget that everything around us impacts us. People are starting to forget that they're organic machines that are susceptible to all sorts of control. Bodily control, mind control, spiritual control, and other people know this. There's intelligent people who want to take control over everything and everyone. We've seen this before. Everything from, the processed church to alchemy. Our world right now is being taken over by New Age alchemists in the name of science, in the name of scientists. And there's good science and there's bad science. We have the power to turn anything and any item into a tool, and there's a proper and improper way to use any tool that exists. Many people don't even know how to use many tools, and so they're automatically going to be used in the wrong way or improper way. We have to start seeing the difference of all these things. It's extremely important, and it's vital. We want a better world. We want to see a world where we don't have to worry all the time. And there's always going to be worry to some degree, but we can mitigate all sorts of negative things in our lives. We have to start being the change that we want to see. Everyone can complain and everyone can blame somebody else, and everyone can get emotional and not think, and that's where the problem is. We have to start observing everything around us and being honest with what's happening around us. I have conversations with people who are denying a lot of the stuff that's happening. I remember there were a lot of factors that I brought up, over a year and a half ago, when Corona first came out, which is now being used for absolute control. And I was telling people there's going to be a semiconductor shortage coming. There's going to be food shortages coming. There's going to be inflation beyond control. You can't just create money without being consequence. There's nothing in this world that's free. Like I touched on before, physics. You can't create or destroy anything. You can only convert things. Anything that humanity has ever created didn't come from nowhere. It came from somewhere. Whether that's metals that we took from the ground or seeds that we planted that turned into fruit, and all of those things have taken energy from another source and converted it somewhere else. So we have to start being extremely responsible with our actions. And we have to start observing and looking around. And when we see things, we have to start talking about it. And we have to bring up real issues, not emotional issues. We have to talk about what's actually detrimental to society, because there's so many people that are being diverted from what's going on. There's so many people that just want control. And sure, it's on the left and the right if you want to talk politically, you know. There's so many things to psychology, and there's so many ways to control people, and there's so many ways to be controlled. And certain personality traits are attracted to certain things and certain sides and certain groups. And there are certain personality traits that can be enhanced or destroyed by the use of drugs or prescriptions that are falsely or just too willingly available to people. When you have drug commercials on TV telling you if you feel like this, if you feel like that, ask your doctor. That should all be illegal. That should all be, there's no way that people don't know better in a lot of cases, you know. Everyone is born ignorant, everybody. And we carry ignorance throughout our lives on so many levels. There's only so much we can learn, and there's only so much we can share, to the point where we have to start being cooperative. You know, there was a thing that humanity got this far by passing on knowledge to each generation, by trying to improve the next generation, trying to make the next generation better. People don't care about the future generations anymore. There's so many people who don't care. They just want what's now. They want me. They want what I want. Now, now, now. That's all you hear. I feel like this. I feel like that. Well, if it's always about you, then why should anyone listen? Because what about them? If we're not working together, we're working against each other. And there's people who understand psychology much better than the average person, and they can control you. And they're in government, they're in politics, they're creating television shows, cartoons for kids. Brainwashing starts at birth. And it all depends on the intentions that you have. You want people to be able to think for themselves and free thinkers. And this society is now shunning you and attacking you if you think any different than how the mobs want to think, because they're afraid. Most people are afraid, and they don't want to be alone. And so they try to create this mob mentality to control other people and to become part of the hive mind. And if you're not, they want to attack you. They want to destroy individuality. And like I said before, there needs to be a balance. There needs to be a balance of individualism and cooperation. Without that, society falls apart. You know, people will use drugs to control people. People will use any means they can to control people. Media, brainwashing, books, lies. You have to start putting your own experience and knowledge into what you see and what you read. You know, it's important to put, as they say, a grain of salt on what you intake, because you need to be able to taste where the lies are and to be able to sense where they are. You know, if everything's so bland, it's hard to tell the difference between everything, where to draw the lines. We're growing in this world that's becoming more and more dangerous because people are being dishonest. And I'm not going to lie, I'm seeing more and more dishonesty on the political left than anywhere else. And I'm starting to think that there's reasons for that. It's the side that seems to be more heavily medicated than other sides. It's the side that wants to normalize everything that is destructive because they feel like they're not worth anything. And it's sad because a lot of it's not their fault. A lot of it is brainwashing from an early age. People are trying to tell you, oh, you're special because you have this wrong with you. And now we're going to give you this special treatment and this special medicine, and people just shouldn't be mean. And I agree, people shouldn't be mean, but you got to be honest. And if the truth hurts, well then, you're just a denier, and you don't want to hear the truth. And you're going to live in ignorance, and it's going to be your decision. And it's going to be no one else's fault, but you're going to want to blame everybody else. We have to take personal responsibility for every single thing we do. This world is falling apart, and everyone wants to blame other people and lie and pretend things aren't happening. I mean, I could go on into, you know, we're being attacked. And this is not just America, this is different countries around the world. There's people who want control, and they're going to use every avenue possible. There's going to be people that are going to try to break into infrastructures where they can gain access. because this entire world is now hooked through the web, that anyone with good enough skills can access, can take over, can hack. And you're seeing it across the board. We just had a pipeline shut down. And I believe that these are foreign entities that are testing us. They're seeing how we respond to this. Anyone who mocks anyone for prepping for in case there's an emergency is out of their mind. They're absolutely crazy because they're afraid. People who deny things are afraid, and they're going to call you paranoid. But they're the ones who are more frightened because they don't want to deal with the harsh realities of the truth, because the truth can be so scary. But it becomes less scary when you recognize that, because it's important to be able to combat that. The more you learn about darkness and the dangers, the more you can prepare yourself and be protected against these things. You know, it's why cavemen and women hid in caves when the darkness came, because the wild beasts out there, we're not equipped to deal with everything. No animal is equipped to deal with everything. And we have to use our senses, our brain, and any means we can to protect ourselves and our loved ones. You know, the best thing you can do is be logical and be prepared, and deal with reality head on, straight on. Face your fears, because if you don't face your fears, they're going to take control over you and you won't be able to function. And we see that happening right now. Whenever you say the truth, there's always a group of people who are willing to try to mock you and make fun of you, but it's just because they're weak. They are weak, and they can't deal with reality. They can't deal with what's to come. Because we all know that things are going to get worse. A lot of people want to deny it. But might as well be prepared. If you're not being prepared, then that's going to be your mistake. And it's going to be your fault. And you're going to be in a situation that's going to be much, much scarier. And it may lead to deep suffering. Not just death. But some things are worse than death. Like being tortured to death. Now, I want to make more videos, and I want to go into depth about all these topics, because it's important for people to know, or at least hear, or at least try to explain or prepare for things. You know, I'm not the only one, I think, that is willing to seek the truth, and I think we all should. People are just so wound up into being on a side, you know, because they want to align with what they want others to think about themselves. Don't care about any of that. Don't care what others think. That's the biggest problem. Only care about what you think. And don't let anybody stop you from thinking about anything in the world. Have any thought you can in your world, in your mind. Think about anything that's possible. At all. Good, bad, the greatest, the worst. Because you need to prepare. And without being prepared, you're going to face the highest of consequences. And we all will. I made a video just recently. And I think it's important, the last video, and I think it's important to make sure that everybody has food, supplies, defense, and prepare for what's coming. You know? People really like to take comfort in believing that nothing can happen because there's a normal biasy. You know, people don't want to accept things that are scary, but scary things are coming, and it's going to be scary if you don't pay attention. Get prepared. Be willing to fight for everything you have. It's what humanity has done this entire time, and look how far we have survived. We are apex in this world. We're at the top. But when we die, we get eaten by the smallest worms and bugs and bacteria there is, and start the cycle again. Who knows if we're going to come back? Who knows if there's a heaven? Who knows if we're doomed to repeat life over and over again? Maybe it's no coincidence why you're here watching this video, and how real life seems to you, because maybe you have been here before. You know? Just in case, you might as well make this world the best you can. You know? Stop complaining. And do. Be the example you want to see. Work on yourself every single day. Grow every single day. Learn. Be humbled by new information that comes along. Be willing to put time into thoughts, deep thoughts. Think about everything there is. Think about where you want to be in the future, where you want everyone you love to be in the future. Think about why you don't want this world to continue being harsh and destructive. We need humanity more than ever right now. More than ever. And I said 2021 was going to be worse than 2020. And it is. And it's getting worse. I mean, do you really want to know what 2022 is going to be like? We better make it for the best. When society shuts down from our grids being knocked out, we're going to be prone to attack, as hard as that is to want to believe. When telecommunication goes down, we're going to be scrambled. When our energy goes down, we're going to freeze when winter comes. When food shortages happen, we're going to starve. And people are going to form gangs, and you want to protect yourself. It's going to be chaos. The cities are going to be terrible. The cities are going to be the worst place to be. Get out of these cities. Get out of these broken, Democrat-run places. They're destroying the country, and they want destruction because they've been infiltrated also. Our government has been infiltrated by foreign entities, and they're being paid off by foreign entities. Our news is being influenced by foreign entities because everyone is jealous of America if they don't love it. America has brought upon the world everything that we have. Technology, food sources, ending hunger. There's a lot of control, and you got to be careful too when people use religion for control, because like anything else, it can be used properly and improperly, selfishly or givingly. And we need to start understanding each other, listening to each other, stop snapping at each other, stop attacking each other, and listen. Have an open mind. I find it all the time. I can sit and listen to whatever anyone has to say and any opinion. But it seems like there's people that are broken who don't want to hear other opinions. They only want to hear themselves, and they think they're right no matter what. And it comes to the point where now I back myself up with facts, with what's going on, and I'm seeing less and less people, attacking me. Oh, they try. But they run away once I start bringing facts up, once I start being stern with where my point is. You can only hide the truth for so long. The truth will always come out, and everybody's targeted. Grow. Work on yourself. Make yourself better. We need you. We need all of you. And we need to start making this world a better place. The future can be as bright as we want it to, or it can be held in pitch black darkness. Things are changing. This world is changing. People are trying to force change. People are trying to control future generations. They're trying to control them with this technocratic idealism where they gather everything they can about you, find out how your brain works, and then try to use it against you. Be open-minded. We're living in a new time. We're living in a new epoch where people have more power to control other people than ever before. But we also have the means to protect ourselves better than ever before. And we have to remember that. And this world can be an absolute beautiful place. I'm thankful every day for what I have. Even if it's nothing. I've seen some of the worst that I could have imagined. I've been through hell multiple times. And I see the value in doing well and doing good and working on yourself because I've seen how destructive life can be. There are points where I've had everything taken from me. You gotta be strong. I've given up smoking, cigarettes, any forms of drugs. I don't take prescriptions. I don't listen to what other people want to impose on me. If you need help, you can seek help, and there are people to help you. But don't just listen to what anyone has to say or let them force you into something. Be truthful with yourself and seek the truth inside. Some people are less fortunate than others. Some people are more fortunate than others. If you are more fortunate, then try to help those who are less fortunate. Try to open up people's minds. Try to at least lend a hand and at least present your view. Because it's important now. We really have to start helping each other. And we really have to start seeing the bigger picture and accepting reality for everything that it is. It's super important. We have to start bringing the balance back. Because everything is falling apart. We need to fix everything. We need to help this world. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, loving day. And I'll be making more videos. I'm going to be putting a news station together because I'm sick of all these lies. And it's going to be backed up with data, facts, articles, and truth. And I would love for you and everyone else to be a part of this. Like and subscribe if you want to share this. You know? That's all I can say. I'm trying to speak my heart. And I'm trying to get my voice out. And if people want to hear me, go ahead. If people want to disagree, that's totally fine. I don't mind. But at least hear what other people have to say besides just yourself. I'm willing to hear what other people have to say. I would love to hear anyone with viewpoints in the comments. You know, I've been blessed with things lately because I'm starting to see the truth and reality. And the more and more faith I have, the more things seem to get better. Have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon.